Hello, forgive my face. I'm doing a play. It's Tech Week, and my days have blurred together. I thought it was Tuesday. I realized it was Wednesday. Here we are. It's a good show. You should come see it. It's this weekend at Piedmont. Anne Sexton and Sylvia Plath. It's kind of funny. I just did a project for my sculpture class where we had to make a sculpture out of a book, and I had worked at a library and I found this book called The Diary of a Mad Housewife, and I took a Barbie and interpolated the two together. But I had made this sphere that went around her head out of hot glue that my professor said the first thing she saw it, when she saw it, the first thing she thought of was the bell jar. And I just thought I would share that. But to answer or to share my opinion on this week's question of living in a patriarchal society, if it caused the mental illness of Anne Sexton and Sylvia Plath, in my personal opinion, is no. Clinical depression is what happens in your brain. And I've thought about this question a lot because I have a lot of opinions. I worked at the Commonwealth Center for Children and Adolescents for 3 years, and my personal opinion is if you're mentally ill, you're mentally ill. And one of the things you see a lot with depression is people who should be happy, and they're in situations where they're surrounded by loved ones, they're fully supported, they can have access to things they enjoy and care, and they're still unhappy. So in mental health, you talk a lot about triggers, and I think living in a male-dominated society really did pull those triggers or set those triggers off, but the mental illness was already there. I don't think that was necessarily a byproduct of living in a patriarchal society, but I could argue the point that it progressed their mental illness, and in Sylvia Plath's case, her triggers were ultimately led to suicide. So it really is a yes and no answer, in my opinion, saying it out loud. I think the mental illness was there, but I think living in a male patriarchal society really did speed up, if you will, their illness. And also at the time, mental illness was highly stigmatized. So if a woman in a male-dominated culture were to talk about her feelings, they would automatically call her crazy, which, if you do have mental illness and people are actively calling you crazy, it creates a lot of hopelessness, and people start to self-identify as crazy or mentally ill. Like people who have cancer don't identify as cancer, but I think it was harder for them to see themselves separate from the illnesses that they had.